Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We're learning new details surrounding proposed sweeping budget cuts at the University of North Dakota. Good evening and thank you for joining us. In terms of pink slips, the budget may not be as bad as it suggests. UND is trying to cut $21 million as the state faces a $1 billion shortfall due to a sagging energy economy. Valley News Team's Neil Carlson shows us what's happening.
The proposed UND budget contains cuts in just about every department, but that doesn't mean heads will roll.
The initial proposed cuts of faculty and staff at UND may not be as drastic as the proposed budget suggests.
Here's just one example. The budget calls for cutting 22 positions in the College of Arts and Sciences. It's the largest college on campus with over 20 departments. But officials say it's not likely even one tenured faculty member will lose their job. Some faculty members will take early retirement, some open positions will not be filled, and so on.
The faculty voluntary separation plan and the staff voluntary separation plan, these were all plans where someone chooses to separate from the university, in most cases retire from the university. So no, they're not pink slips.
And DiLorenzo says that goes for faculty members campus-wide.
So do you actually envision that many faculty members are going to get pink slipped?
No, absolutely not. I don't think there's any tenured faculty members that will get pink slipped.
Basically, it will work the same way for staff members. However, UND spokesperson Peter Johnson says there will be some staff members in several departments who get their pink slips. For instance, 2 of 9 positions at UND's TV center are being cut. He says it will be reorganized and continue to operate. They're also considering cost-saving measures, such as turning over operations of UND's Ray Richard Golf Course to a private company. In Grand Forks, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
You'll have a chance to give your opinion on the cuts at a public forum tomorrow between 1 and 3 in the afternoon at UND's Memorial Union. UND interim president Ed Schaefer will submit his final budget proposal to the state later this month. If you're looking for UND's detailed budget, we have a link to it online. Just go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. To some new information now. Authorities have recovered the sunken boat of a man who was pulled from the Rainy River near Baudette, Minnesota last week. They used sonar to find it and then pulled the 14-foot boat from 24 feet of water. However, there's still no official cause of death for 52-year-old John Stiglich of Shoreview. He was the CEO and president of Cerdan Health Systems and Consulting in St. Paul. The Sheriff's Department says the investigation into his death remains open, pending a final autopsy report. The rain is slowly ending, but it sounds like drivers will need to be on alert this evening. Here's Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson with a look at tonight's forecast. Hutch?
Andrea, radar and satellite shows most of us seeing cloudy conditions across the valley this evening, but most of the shower activity focused in Lakes Country and to the east of the Red River Valley. This trend will continue as we go through the evening. Look at the warmth where there was a little peak of sunshine earlier in the day. Northern Minnesota with the warm spot. Roseau 64, it's 52 in Wahpeton, 51 in Fargo, and 48 cool degrees in Valley City. Sunset tonight, 8:23. We'll see those low 50s persistent with light winds this evening, while temperatures will be in the upper 50s for the next hour or two. In Grand Forks, a few peaks at sun here and there. In Lakes Country, expect low 50s as well. Overnight, we'll have to battle some fog and a few remnant sprinkles from this system, but all in all, things are looking up for the remainder of our work week. I'll have details on the rest of that in just a few moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch. And you can stay up to date on the weather conditions where you are anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just download the Storm Team weather app to get the latest weather conditions and even follow the radar live. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store. The gunman in a strong-armed robbery at the Taco John's in South Fargo now admits he did it. Carl Smith pleaded guilty to 2 counts for his role in robbing the Taco John's on 32nd Avenue. It happened last September, and Smith was one of several individuals who robbed the restaurant. As the Taco John's was closing, Smith fired 2 shots, hitting an employee in the leg. The Circle of Friends Humane Society in Grand Forks is back open today following a parvo scare. The The executive director tells us the staff is excited to be back after a sick dog prompted a voluntary quarantine. As a precaution, the shelter had to be closed for 2 weeks. Parvo, which is a similar virus to the stomach flu in humans, is contagious if animals aren't vaccinated. The Dakotas are home to many of the world's refugees, and it's been a topic of discussion in recent months here in the Red River Valley. Now, South Dakota's refugee coordinator says Aberdeen could be a potential resettlement site for future refugees. Pascal Mondesir explains how the resettlement process works for refugees and the community.
City officials don't decide whether or not refugees can resettle in Aberdeen, but Mayor Mike Leifson says a lot of opportunities can come from allowing them to stay in Hub City. Sioux Falls and Huron are South Dakota's direct refugee resettlement sites, and discussions have begun again to include Aberdeen in this group.
It started roughly 5 to 6 years ago when Northern Beef was getting going, and they simply reached out due to the fact that they had a number of employment opportunities available which they could not fill.
Jurgens says prepping a city to become a resettlement site includes community consultations and meeting with congregations and employers to gauge how well a city can host residents who need great assistance, something he believes Aberdeen has the capability to do.
Affordable housing, schools, medical infrastructure, is it there? Department of Social Services, is there adequate English as second language training opportunities?
There has been international outcry against welcoming refugees to the states, but Mayor Leifson says this could be a great addition.
Our country's history with refugees has been an almost unbreakable string of positive results, and there's no reason this should be any different.
The mayor says the city's job is to bring people here. If the discussion moves forward, they will also work to stop any problems that could arise. Jurgens says he wants to be clear that nothing has been decided, and they are still discussing this option.
The state refugee director says the main goals for refugees when they arrive to new cities are family unification and self-sufficiency. An open house is underway to discuss a major construction project that's kicking off in Moorhead. The Minnesota Department of Transportation is reconstructing the interchange at 8th Street and I-94. The project will impact about 80,000 drivers who use that area daily. The Minnesota DOT says this project will benefit drivers by getting rid of turn lanes. It's called a diverging diamond, and it's supposed to make traffic more efficient. The project will be done in 4 stages, with the second stage closing the bridge completely, having drivers use the detour of 20th Street South. The meeting lasts until 7 tonight and is open to the public. Questions are encouraged. It's being held at the Courtyard by Marriott in Moorhead. The city of Fargo is reminding people that toilets are not meant to be trash cans. It comes after a Fargo lift station pump was completely covered with debris that was flushed down the toilet. Here's a picture. The city says the pump must be cleaned by hand to prevent pump failure and backups. Employees at the wastewater treatment plant say when inappropriate items are flushed, backups can happen on your own property or within the broader sanitary sewer system and lift stations. Items that should not be flushed include baby wipes and diapers, cleaning sponges, disposable toilet brushes, aquarium gravel, and kitty litter. To see the full list, head to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. Plastic shopping bags that end up blowing around in our community get caught in fences, trees, and ditches. And those plastic shopping bags are being targeted as the FM area kicks off Earth Week. Earth Week organizers and local mayors are focusing on 2 major areas this year. Plastic bags are one, but they're also asking apartment dwellers to make more of an effort to recycle. They're putting posters in apartments outlining the where and how to recycle. And when it comes to plastic bags, you're being asked to not use so many of them and switch to reusable bags.
As far as recycling plastic bags, we would encourage residents to bring those back to the grocery store. And there's a few big box stores in town as well that have containers that are able to recycle those plastic bags.
The city of Minneapolis is banning most plastic shopping bags beginning in June of next year. As for Earth Week activities and promotions in the metro area, there are a lot of them, and you can check them out by going to valleynewslive.com. Here's a chance to feel more confident when choosing your next bottle of wine, beer, or liquor. 99 Bottles in Moorhead is holding classes to share more education about drinks and how to choose the ones that best match your palate. Tonight's class is on the basics of wine and starts at 7:30 in the evening.
But you get to try some wine, you get to talk about wine. Same thing with our spirit classes. You get to try spirits, you get to talk about spirits. It's just getting that background. There's all that extra knowledge that you can attain by attending these classes.
You can go to valleynewslive.com and click on your hot button, our hot button, for a link with more information on tonight's class. A credit